Want to see how to swap out these cruddy old factory headlights for some LED units? Looking good. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. This is Horus Works, and today we're doing headlights. And that's what this channel is about. It's about working on your cars at home in your own garage. If you want to see content like that, consider subscribing. Alright, so to kick things off, we're swapping these out because, well, they're faded and horrible. This is a right-hand drive vehicle, so most of the things I'll do, you're probably going to have to reverse because most of you drive on the wrong side of the road. Here in Australia, we drive on the right hand side of the road. But irregardless of where you drive, hopefully this video will show you exactly what you need to do to get some LED bad boys on a new Edge Mustang. So enough chit chat, I'm gonna stop talking about it and do it. There you are. Put these hood struts on a while ago and they are fantastic. You want to see how to do that? Check out the link up there somewhere. But back to the task at hand. So you want to pop out the old factory headlights real quick, and the way to do that is, see these tabs over here? Pull them out. Slidey slidey. So once you're at this point under your clip, indicator bulb, there she goes. And here's one cruddy old factory headlight unit. So I've got a broken clip over there. These do collect a little bit of moisture when things get wet. I think the seal is broken here. Also, these are cloudy and faded. I can bring these back to life so that they look brand new if I wanted to. I've actually shown how to do that process in another video. Check that out over there somewhere. But I thought this would be a great video to make, how to put LED headlights on a new Edge Mustang. So they're going in the bin, and what I'm going to replace them with are the following. Yeah, that's just a little bit better. What do you think? An improvement? I definitely think it is. Now, of course, I'm going to have to do the absolutely necessary test fit. Ooh, that's better. Don't you think? Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, let's wire this thing in. Quintiung PDI Specials quality. Most of this stuff is going to be plug and play, pretty simple. Indicator there, headlight lamp in there. Now the only other part will be this. So this is going to be your wiring for your DLR, so your daytime running lights. Pretty simple. Ground attaches to the body, red goes to a power source. So we're going to need to run some power for the daytime running lights. And the best thing to do is to patch it into your fuse box, into a power source that gets power once the key is turned on. That way, your DLRs come on whenever the ignition is turned on and the car gets power. To do that, we're going to need to head into the car and run some wiring. And this is what you're going to need. So get yourself some electrical tape just in case. You're going to need some electrical wire. I've got black and red here because I'm fussy. I want black for the ground and red for the power. You're going to need some patch cables to run a fuse. I picked these up from eBay and they came with 10 amp fuses, so that's what I'm going to use. Again, eBay specials, you can get those there. You're going to need a crimper tool, and these are optional, but yeah, just some plugs and wiring if you want to do that. Some cable ties to tie everything together, and have a torch ready because you'll be rooting around underneath the car and so on and so forth. So anyway, let's go do some archaeology. Most of you guys in the States, you lucky buggers, you're going to have a massive grommet that comes through the firewall here in front of the driver's seat, and your wiring will run through there along here to the battery. But because I live down under and everything is upside down here, my steering wheel is not there, it's over there. And my wiring harness and ECU is not there, it's on the other side. Now, because of that, the problem I've got is I've got the brake booster and all the other hydraulics and everything else over here. So I don't actually have the large rubber grommet that runs through the firewall over here. And even if I did, as you can tell, there's no way I'm gonna get in there to it. So what I'm gonna do is take this wheel off, take the wheel liner off, and I bet you I'm going to find a whole bunch of wiring above this wheel liner behind this front fender. And that is where I'm going to run my power cable. If you're in the States, you're going to do it on that side, nice and easy. But for me, mine's a little trickier, but doable. So let's do it. Aha, just as I thought. There's a whole bunch of spaghetti wires that run underneath this wheel guard. Oh my God, a few sensors too. Looks like the main wiring harness, that's it there, and goes into the car over there to all the accessories and whatever. And there's a sensor or control module, or what is that? Can you guys comment below and let me know what this thing is? An airflow sensor? What is that? Right next to the intake over here. There's quite a bit of wiring underneath here, so I don't feel so bad running the wiring underneath the wheel guard now. That orange wire right there, that is the antenna. So that runs into the car. So what I'm gonna do is feed my power wire through that hole as well. And I'm gonna run things all the way along here to the front of the headlight. Got my red wire right here, and this comes as a double. So I'm just going to split it in half like that. And I'm gonna get the red and basically feed it through like that. So I've got a fair bit fed in there now. So let's take a look in the car to see if we can see this red wire. Searching. Here, wire. Where are you, red wire? Aha, gotcha. Okay, after a little bit of yoga, we got ourselves a power source. So this is gonna go into one of these. Now, I'm gonna take a look at the fuse box. So let's do that real quick. All right, I'm just gonna crack out my Australian version of the SVT Cobra manual. And of course in Australia, this isn't an SVT, this is an FTE. And if you guys want to check out all the details about this new Edge Mustang, the Australian version that is, then check out the link above where I go through all the little quirks and features that make up these cars. Anyway, let's take a look at the fuse diagram. Okay, I think this one over here, which is the wiper, washer motor, wiper relay, cigarette lighter, get power to the car as soon as the key is in the ignition. That's what I want. I want my DRL running lights, the LED lights, to come on as soon as there's power to the car. So that's the one we'll be patching it into, which is number 26. So 26, where are you? That one. Before I go any further, I just wanted to point something out. So here are these patch fuse cables where we'll be able to tap in the extra wiring that we need to do. The red cable that I've run through the car will go in there, we'll crimp this, and this plugs into where the 30 amp fuse was that we pulled out. Now, what you want to do, you're going to have two clips, okay? You're going to have one for the 30 and one for your new fuse that will go to the LED lights. So which one do you plug into which? Well, what I've done is I've destroyed one so that we can take a look. So if we look at the pins back here, so like I said, I've destroyed this one. Okay, now what happens is this wire that connects to the wire that goes to the daytime running lights, the LED lights, well, that plugs into the back here, and in the front here we've got a circuit that loops in and then comes back out. So what you're going to want to do is you want to plug your 30 back in there, so then this circuit just keeps going, no harm done. And you want to plug your new fuse, in my case this is a 10 amp, and you want to plug that into the one that's further away from the forks there. And then that will make sure that this side here has a continual loop, no harm done, and this one goes into your daytime running lights. All right, so now that this is done, we're gonna attach the other side of this cable. So let's go do that. Okay, you're gonna have to excuse me if this isn't the best videography you've ever seen, but Space is pretty tight in here, so I'm going to do my best to show you what I do, but I'm going to clip this down there, then I'm going to strip it. Okay, that's nice and strong now. Just got a little bit of a heat shrink here to cover it all up. So that's been crimped into place and heat shrunk so that the dust is kept out and that connection is nice and tight. So that's all good. So basically, we're just going to leave this loose here for the moment. All right, let's go outside and continue. Okay, so we're back outside and I've got my little grommet over here ready to push back in. Yeah, I do believe that's back in place. All right, so really what we've got to do now is feed this red cable up through here, and I found that the best hole to put it through is that little one just there. So I'm gonna feed it through there. Just gonna measure things out, like maybe about that much. Now remember, there's two of these combined, so I'm just gonna strip this second one off. So this one can go away. Okay, so now that I've got my cable cut to length with a little bit of extra length, so that I've got some room to play with, I'm going to feed this cable through here. Now, before I do, what I'm going to do is, I've noticed that everything under here is covered in cable shielding, just like that. So I bought myself a little bit, and what I'm going to do is feed my cable through the cable shielding, just like that. Okay, so there we go. I'm just gonna pull it tight. I'm just gonna run this above and through some of this stuff so that it's protected as possible. And there we go. All right, so that is coming out the same place that headlight socket is coming out of. That's fit through. So now we've got power. Just zip tie this off so that it doesn't flail around anywhere and has no chance of dropping down. And looking good. Okay, so we've pretty much got a power wire coming to the front of the car here. Now, I need to run power from here to the other side as well to power the other headlight. So let me quickly show you what I plan to do with the wiring for this whole thing. It's very simple. So as you already know from the fuse box in the car, we've got one of those double adapter fuse cables running through the firewall to the front of the car. Now from there, I'm going to put a connector socket on the end of that wire, and I'll also run the power cable from that socket to the other side of the car, at which point I'll also crimp a connecting socket there. Now I'll also attach a ground wire from one of these sockets to the other, and I'll ground this ground wire onto the car's chassis. This way I've got sockets on either end so that I can connect sockets to the headlight black and red wires and basically just connect the two plugs. So it's pretty much going to be a click, and I've done it this way because if I ever want to disconnect these headlights, it'll be quite easy. I just disconnect the plugs. I don't have to cut any wires that I've crimped or soldered together. I haven't touched the factory wiring harness, so technically I could remove these DRL headlights anytime and put the originals back in, or if these DRLs break, I can get new ones and just basically plug the new ones in. So that's the plan. And of course, if I ever don't like this wiring, because I haven't hacked up the wiring harness, I can just pull the wiring that I've put in the car out and everything looks factory again. So to keep going, what we're going to do is remove this plastic panel, and to do that you've got a clip there, a clip there, a clip there, and a clip there. Oh, good solid catch. Okay, the reason I took this center panel off is because I just want to run the cabling underneath this center support structure so that it's hidden. Just trim this down real quick. Okay, and it just so works out that this is just long enough to run behind this cowling here. So I've just trimmed back this plastic shielding a little bit so that it's sitting like that. So now I can strip this wire. strip this wire. So this other red wire will basically act as the power wire that runs to the other headlight. Now the reason I've split it like this is because at this point we need to create a socket so that the other headlight can run into it. So what we'll do is we'll join them up like that. And at this point you can use any kind of connectors that you like. What I'm going to do is use a wiring harness clip, and I'll show you what I've got. So I bought these clips on eBay for you know, it's like 100 pack or something, but essentially these are waterproof, which is really good because think about where these headlights are. They're right at the front of the car. If it rains, you want to keep the water away from your electrics. So there's a little rubber piece in there, and as you clip it together, if you can see that, there's a complete watertight seal through there. So that'll go in there like so, and if I ever want to undo it, lift this clip up and off it comes. I'm actually going to join it this way because I think it's easier, yeah, much easier to take the headlight off this way. So that's what we'll do. We'll basically feed this in here and we'll feed a ground into the other one and run it that way. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so this set of connectors comes with these little parts and a crimper tool as well, and the whole thing is quite cheap. I'll leave a link in the description below. And these are great because they also come with these little rubber shields. What this allows you to do is put a watertight rubber seal onto your cables, just like that. And then you feed the pin on. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting this crimp started like that. You just crimp it on like that. There we go. So I'm going to do a similar thing with some black wire. You can use the same wire, I'm just, you know, I'm fussy like this, so I'm going to use black for ground. Feed the rubber through, feed this on, get things started, grab your crimping tool and crimp down. And that, my friends, is a nice strong connection. Now all you got to do is feed it in here. Now I want number 2 to be ground, number 1 to be power. So I'm going to feed this in. There we go. Can you see that? There's the pin there. So that is now in, and it is watertight because of that rubber seal. So that's in nice and firm. This one goes in as well. This one will be a snug fit because of the dual wires, but it will go in there. There we go. And that's in. Okay, so at this point I've pretty much got this plug ready to go, and I'm ready to go to the other side of the car with my cables. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little bit more black shielding here. I'm going to run this thing to the other side of the car. Okay, so that's now come out on this side. So we've got power here and we've got it running all the way through here. So I'm just quickly going to tie this up. Okay, so the wire's in, so now it's time to put a ground in. So I've decided to put my ground just over there, and I've got a little eyelet here that'll go on there just nicely. So what I'm going to do is cut a little bit of this wire off. Now I don't need much, so I would say something like that. That'll get me there. Yes, it will. So that needs to go in there. So that'll feed through there like that. Gonna crimp the sucker down. Okay, so that's on there now, nice and tight. The only thing I don't like is this yellow thing. It doesn't match anything on the car at all. So I'm gonna, yeah, look, I'll take that off. And I've got this cable protector here. I'm gonna slide this on and cover the cable much better. And just attach this as well. feed it through and put it back. Yeah, so that's a nice strong earth, clearly used by other things as well, so I'm happy about that. So what we've got to do next is connect this ground cable to this ground cable, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull out this cable just a little bit. I'm going to try to attach them together about here. Okay, cool. So that's all patched in. So let's get the plug on. All good to go. Okay, so the wiring's pretty much done at the car. Just gonna head back to the bench here and we're gonna put the plugs onto the headlight. Just gonna put something down so that I don't scratch the headlight. So what we're gonna deal with are these two cables underneath here. And these are super long, they don't need to be. So the rubber fitting goes on first, then comes a little attachment. Now, same deal, one will be red, black will be 2. So 1 and 2, that's in there now. And I've got these little caps as well, go in there like so. There you go. So that looks awesome, looks factory, doesn't it? Really happy about that. This rubber shield will make it waterproof. I've got a little bit of shielding here to protect against chafing. And yeah, it's looking really nice. And head back to the car. Okay, at this point we can safely reattach the cover. It goes over here. Finally, it's time to put these lights back in. Obviously reattach your globes, your side repeaters and your headlight globes into the new unit. All you really got to do is click, push these together like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with this because this is waterproof in there, on this side too, and through here. So just reconnect your headlight. And don't forget your side repeaters. Give this a little nudge. Nice. Don't forget to reattach your tabs. Again, these aftermarket headlights, a little bit harder to push in, the tolerance is a little bit off, but not too bad. They will get in there as long as you give them a good push. All right, so just quickly do the other side as well. And with that, you're kind of done under here and looking good. Okay, remember this thing hanging out underneath your fuse box? Well, it's time to plug it in, just like that. And because I've shortened this cable quite a bit, it's not hanging out there too bad, but the one thing I'll do is zip tie it into place. But before I do that, we gotta try this out. Let's have a look. The car's got power now. I'm seeing this as you're seeing this, so let's see what we've got. Oh yeah. Well, that worked pretty well, didn't it? Nice, very nice. Woo, I'm liking that. All right, let's turn this thing off and button things up. All right, I've got the largest cable tie I could find here. I'm not gonna lie, this is really awkward. There's absolutely no room under here in these cars. Come on, cable tie. Don't make this the hardest part of this job. All right, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. There we go, that's pretty good. I'm fairly certain now that my foot won't get caught on this thing. Cool, tuck it up in there. All right, I do believe that's good. So there it is guys, LED headlights on a new Edge Mustang. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button, it really helps me out. Now speaking about helping me out, if you really want to support the channel, then check out some of the stuff I sell that goes towards supporting this channel basically. So I sell everything from a really good cut-proof gloves that's great for mechanical work. I also sell a disposable nitrile glove that's perfect for dirty jobs. I've got a razor scraper if you need to clean up some windows or some surfaces, and a couple of great eraser wheels to clean up your paint and your auto body surfaces. So check those out and pick something up on Amazon if you want to support this channel. But all in all, a great little project, not too difficult at all, and the wiring looks factory, so I can't ask for any more than that. A really good result, and yeah, it can be done at home in a garage. So if you want to see more content like that, where I work on projects at home in my own garage, much like you could, check out my other videos on this channel and make sure you subscribe so that you can be notified when I post up something new. But enough chit chat from me, I'll catch you next time.